Hey everyone, and welcome back to History Herald. Ever wondered how two of the world's closest allies, Canada and the United States, started out as rivals? Today, we are diving deep into 20 epic history clashes and surprising parallels that shaped these two great nations. From revolutions and wars to railways and space races, you're about to see North American history in a whole new light. Get ready, because the story of Canada and the USA is more dramatic than you think. Let's rewind to the 18th century. Our first major split happens in 1776. While the 13 colonies declared independence, the colonies that would later form Canada chose to remain loyal to the British Crown. This decision set the two regions on vastly different paths. This brings us to our second point, the arrival of the Loyalists. After the American Revolution, tens of thousands of people loyal to Britain fled the newly formed United States. Where did they go? North, to what is now Canada. These United Empire Loyalists significantly shaped the culture and politics of early Canada, reinforcing its British identity. Third, let us talk about the Quebec Act of 1774. This British law was a major sore spot for the American colonists. It expanded Quebec's territory and protected French-Canadian language and religion. Americans saw it as one of the intolerable acts, another example of British overreach, pushing them closer to revolution. Our fourth point is the Treaty of Paris in 1783, which officially ended the American Revolutionary War. This treaty established the initial border between the United States and British North America. However, the lines drawn were often vague, setting the stage for future disputes and conflicts over territory. And fifth, the paths to full independence were totally different. The United States fought a bloody revolution to break away from Britain. Canada, on the other hand, took a much slower, more peaceful route. It was a process of negotiation and evolution, culminating in the Confederation of 1867, creating a self-governing dominion within the British Empire. Now, let's march forward to the War of 1812, a defining moment for both countries. Our sixth fact is one many Americans might not know. In 1814, British forces, including Canadian militia, marched on Washington, D.C. and burned down several public buildings, including the White House. It was a direct retaliation for American troops burning the capital of Upper Canada, which is now Toronto. Seventh, we have the Battle of Queenstown Heights. This was a major early battle in the War of 1812 where British and Canadian forces, with their First Nations allies, repelled an American invasion across the Niagara River. This victory was a huge morale boost and helped foster a sense of a distinct Canadian identity. Eighth, the war ultimately ended in a stalemate with the Treaty of Ghent. No territory changed hands, but the war had a lasting impact. For the United States, it was a second war of independence. For Canada, it solidified the determination to remain separate from its southern neighbour. Ninth, this wasn't the end of border tensions. Have you ever heard of the Pig War? In 1859, on the San Juan Islands between Washington State and Vancouver Island, the only casualty was a pig. An American farmer shot a British-owned pig for eating his potatoes, escalating into a military standoff. Luckily, cooler heads prevailed, and the border was peacefully settled years later. 10th, these early conflicts were crucial in shaping the modern US-Canada border. What began as a series of hostile standoffs and invasions eventually led to the creation of the world's longest undefended border, a symbol of peace and cooperation. We are halfway through our list. If you're enjoying this journey through North American history, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment with your favorite facts so far, and subscribe to History Herald for more deep dives. Here's a quick bonus fact. During the era of slavery, the Underground Railroad wasn't just a route to the northern states. For many seeking freedom, the final destination was Canada, where slavery had been abolished. 12th, both nations embarked on monumental engineering projects, the transcontinental railways. The American version was completed in 1869, uniting its east and west coasts. Canada's own Canadian Pacific Railway, finished in 1885, was essential for uniting its provinces, encouraging settlement, and solidifying its claim to the vast Western Territories. 13th, these railways transformed both countries. They spurred industrial growth, enabled mass migration, and were critical in developing national economies. The iconic images of steam engines crossing vast landscapes are a shared symbol of 19th century ambition and expansion. 14th on our list is the era of Prohibition. When the United States banned alcohol in the 1920s, Canada became a primary source for smuggled liquor. This period of rum running across the border created a strange mix of criminal enterprise and cross-border trade. with figures like Al Capone sourcing Canadian whiskey. And our 15th parallel is how both nations managed their expansion. The United States used the concept of manifest destiny to justify its westward push. Canada, while less aggressive, also had a national policy to settle the West to prevent American encroachment. Truly a tale of two continental visions. Now, let's jump into the 20th century, where rivalry began to transform into alliance. 16th, we look at World War I. Canada's victory at the Battle of Vimy Ridge in 1917 is often seen as a defining moment for Canadian nationhood. It was a huge tactical success where Canadian troops accomplished what others could not. 17th, during World War II, both nations fought side by side. On D-Day, Canadian forces were tasked with storming Juno Beach in Normandy. Their courage and sacrifice were crucial to the Allied success, fighting alongside American troops on Omaha and Utah beaches, a powerful symbol of a shared cause. 18th, the Cold War brought the former rivals even closer. Fear of a Soviet attack from over the Arctic led to the creation of NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, in 1958. This joint command meant Canadian and American military personnel would work together, sharing information and resources to defend the continent. 19th, this spirit of cooperation extended beyond defense and into the final frontier, space. Canada contributed the Canadarm to the American Space Shuttle program, a robotic arm that became an essential piece of equipment for deploying and retrieving satellites. It was a high-tech handshake in orbit. And our 20th and final point is the incredible evolution of this relationship. From post-revolutionary tension and the War of 1812 to becoming the closest of military and economic partners, the US-Canada story is a remarkable journey from conflict to deep, unshakable friendship. So there you have it, 20 clashes and parallels that tell the story of two nations growing up side by side. We saw how a revolutionary divide led to border wars, which slowly gave way to shared ambitions in building railways and eventually, a shared mission to defend a continent and explore the stars. The most surprising part is how conflict forged the foundation for one of the most peaceful and integrated relationships in the world. Thank you so much for joining us on this historical journey. Don't forget to follow History Herald for more stories that shaped our world. We'll see you next time.